Hey y'all, Jennifer Verma here, the host of The Best Kept Secrets. I'm joined here today by Kim Wallace, our famous farmers insurance agent. Kim, if you could come on the screen, or Lennon, if you get her on, as well as Jerry Tuzil. He is the co-founder of a platform called Influence the Cause. Lennon, can we bring Jerry on? Awesome. Hello, everybody. How are you today?
How are you?
I'm awesome. How about yourself?
Everything's good. Everything is good.
Okay, so Kim's decided to join us again.
It's been busy.
Took a little break, right? But she did it for good reasons. So I just want to kind of plug that, she had the opportunity to bring on another book of business into her agency. So we want to congratulate her, give her all the props, go, yay.
Super excited.
Yes. And you survived. You survived the integration.
So far.
All right. Well, before I let really Jerry introduce himself and all the things he does, I just want us to kind of recap cause marketing. It's something that we walked through extensively in episode number 2. But I want to give us all a refresher of the highlights and the high points, because we're going to be really leaning into cause marketing, which is what, Jerry's platform does for nonprofits. At one of many, many things his platform does. We'll go into all of it at some point in the next 30 minutes. But, if we remember, cause marketing today is a $4 billion industry. And because the millennial spend is about to eclipse that of the baby boomers, it's anticipated to be a $20 billion market by 2025. So what does that mean to everybody? Millennials are demanding that businesses take social responsibility, and businesses are clamoring for solutions on how to help. And nonprofits always need more money, especially with the economic climate that we're in. There are fewer donors. The donors that are donating less. So we're having to get a little more creative about how we help them. And to kind of make matters worse, Amazon Smile shut down on February 20th of this year, though they felt they weren't making a big contribution on a per nonprofit basis, because their average contribution was $240 per charity in 2022. When I speak to the charities themselves, they actually felt like it was a blessing to have Amazon Smiles. It made a huge impact. And so there's this void in the market, in the nonprofit space, for passive type fundraising solutions, which, really this is something that Influence the Cause and Jerry has done. And, not knowing the Amazon Smile is going to shut down is just something they envisioned long, long ago. So all that being said, I want to introduce Jerry Tuzil. Jerry, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, about, how you got here, how Influence the Cause became into being. And I'm just going to stop talking. So.
Oh, well, you got a couple hours.
Right.
Thanks, Jen. Jerry Tuzil, co-founder of Influence the Cause. My background, basically, I was in real estate for 25 years. Kind of fell into this after I kind of semi-retired from that, looking for something different to do. So what we looked at in the industry and trying to figure out, what was missing in the platforms that were out there, and there was a lot of good ones out there, but it didn't combine all the aspects of small to medium nonprofits, businesses supporting more sponsorship campaigns, and how to integrate and engage more supporters inside each campaign in the community. So that's how we came up with Influence the Cause, basically. So, we looked at all the different aspects and kind of made it 3 separate units into one. The small to medium nonprofits now have a turnkey marketing platform that they can utilize, that we help them walk through their whole process up to campaign and get them going faster.
Go ahead.
More small mom and pop businesses now can sponsor more campaigns at no cost, right? We look at everything at saying, there's no checks to be written if you want to go get and ask for checks, and no tier levels, no things like that. We incorporate the business aspect of marketing inside each campaign. And then obviously the engagement of supporters through our playanthropy is what we call it. And it's basically the gamification of fundraising, where the more you support campaigns, the more you build your philanthropic legacy, a real one, inside the campaign, with leaderboards and badges and things like that inside there. Engage more of the community support inside there and acknowledge everybody's efforts.
Okay, so Kim, did you get all that?
It was a lot, but I liked it.
Well, hence that's why we said, you know what, we do it all for you. I mean, we build a very intricate system, but yet we build it all for you. We track all the information. So that's one of the main issues too, is building a base for a small nonprofit or a medium nonprofit, and that's what we do.
So when did you guys think of this? Like, when was it born?
Oh, about three and a half years ago, we started talking about this, and we kind of fell into it. I was doing a deal and with some big wigs in Arizona, actually. And they just were asking, we finally got on this topic of nonprofits and things like that. And they were always waiting till the last minute, right? And then they would email their database of big wigs, and everybody would just cut checks, right? And then the topic came up and says, well, there's not a better way. They didn't like the platforms that were out there now, that were out there currently, and had just thought, all you're getting was a WordPress page and good luck, right? So they were just trying to figure out how, what's a better way for it. And so that's what I started this light bulb came out of my head, and we started doing some research, me and my co-founder, and came up with this. I'm not a tech guy, so maybe that's why I came up with what I came up with, right? I'm a sales guy. I've been doing that for years. And when you look at the business aspect of it, right, of what does a nonprofit need, or their marketing, just like any business would market, right? And so that's why we built what we built.
Got it. So now you said you're not a tech guy, but this is absolutely a very complicated, intricate tech platform.
Correct.
Not being a tech guy, building a tech platform. How'd that go?
Well, that's why it took 3 years. But
you know what? We find a friend that knows the techie part, and you're just like, I want this idea, make it work.
Right.
Well, yeah, and we built it 2 years ago, right? But we didn't have the sponsor connect, is what we call it, side of it. And we thought, again, coming from the business side of it, that's going to distinguish us from everybody else on the market, right? Of what they're currently doing. Yeah, we incorporated gamification, which no one else is doing, and doing all that engagement tools on there for supporters, right? But the thing that was missing was the sponsor connect. And so that's why we took another year and built that out to make it to what it is today.
So how many times did you rebuild the platform? Just curious.
Pardon me?
So how many times did you rebuild the platform? I'm just curious, coming from a serial entrepreneur in tech startups and some of the challenges involved.
3 times.
I think that sounds about right.
3 times.
Yeah. That's a lot of vigilance to keep going toward that. As you were building it, were you finding there was a really good response from the nonprofit and the business community and the folks that you were talking to?
You know what? Everybody, I hate to brag, but I mean, everybody, was just like, same as you going, it's like you look at it and you go, wow, you built this? And you're like, well, yeah. And, the other reason why was there was no tech being spent on the nonprofit world, right? There's a lot of different things for CRM and all this stuff like that, but not real marketing tools, right? Just like you would for a regular business. And so that's why we said, you know what, there's a big need for this. And so, everybody was, looking at this going, well, why don't you stop here and just launch this and do it that way? And, that type of thing. And we all look at each other and go, well, why didn't we? But it is what it is. And I'm proud of what we did. And the response has been great.
That's fantastic. Okay, so now I'm going to ask more of an altruistic question. Being a person who has also started sort of a passive listing service type thing, similar but very different from what you do, how rewarding is it as you're helping these nonprofits? Like,
oh, it's tremendous, because they would not have a way to do it otherwise. Especially when you're starting helping, again, some of these smaller, even the medium-sized guys, and I always ask the question of what makes them a small or medium nonprofit. And I say how much resources they have, right, to work on it. Not necessarily how big their following is or how big their staff, but how much resources do you have internally to work on this? And that's kind of what gauges me. And you wouldn't, some of even the medium guys who are raising a good amount of money, 150, 200,000 a year, have 2-3 people, that's it. Which is good, but again, but what hurts is their marketing side, right? And so that's it's huge.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, really, because when I talk to, like, my friend is a donations manager at Communities Foundation of Texas, and we talk about what those problems are. There are big wigs that write a check to CFT because they're a nonprofit, but their mission is to help all nonprofits in Texas, right? So though you need resources to do marketing, people that donate don't want to donate to organizations that have large overheads. So
Right.
it's like, how do you balance those two things, right? And the more conversations I have, I know that, Influence the Cause leans heavily into helping the nonprofits, almost like a turnkey, out of the box marketing solution. So you don't just throw the platform over the fence at them and say, hey, good luck, have a good day. You actually engage and help and help create those campaigns and do that. But which is great, because as I talk more to the nonprofits themselves, the one recurring theme I get is, hey, those are great solutions, great idea, but I have 27,000 jobs already. I don't need another one. And I don't know if I could be effective doing this because I don't have time. So
Right.
the more you can empower them with either the marketing collateral, the tools, or the support, or whatever, it's going to make them successful, not just, hey, here's some technology, good luck with it, because that's just not going to do. So you guys have like the perfect storm, the perfect recipe for success.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they give me the story and their mission and their vision, and I can't make up pictures, I guide them. As long as they give me the foundation, I'll call their sponsors. I'll walk them through it. I'll create the page. I'll create the marketing campaigns. I'll create the press releases, whatever they are looking for, whatever they're trying to do in their current base, right? Because a lot of them don't have, or even give them a start, say, okay, where are you starting, right? Because that's the key. You have mostly, they all have the story and they all can get the pictures and the videos and the things like that. But where are you starting from? Where's your starting point, right? Is it local? If it's local, okay, let's start talking to the local community and then branch out from the grassroots and then work our way up that way. It just gives them a sense of that they don't have to worry about it anymore, right? That they're just the calmness of going, okay, I have this great tech now I could utilize. Doesn't cost me nothing up front, and I don't have to do anything except basically tell these people my story, my vision, and then work it from there. And then all of a sudden they have a marketing page ready to go.
Right.
Hey, Jerry, I've got a question. So have you guys done the research of now people who are on the program, how much percentage higher they're collecting each year versus before they were on the program?
Well, most of them that we're dealing with is zero, or very low, right? And so we had just rolled out. We ran about half a dozen beta campaigns last year and really rolled it out to the general public this year, right? And so we just are starting to get all our campaigns up and running. But most of what we're dealing with, are at the 0 to 50,000 range as far as what they've ever ran, right? A lot of them were working at it, our grassroots guys are just starting out. So, which is good because that gives me a level of confidence that says, that they're allowing me to be a part of what they're trying to do and grow right off the bat. So, do I have that number? No, not exactly, because I'm working with a lot of smaller to medium-sized groups.
Well, I mean, it really just makes it uniform for them because they don't even know where to start. You don't know what you don't know.
They don't know
and
where to start.
It sounds like this program just kind of says, okay, you had this idea for this nonprofit. Now let's actually help you execute it because we've got a platform that's going to do that for you.
Correct. Right. Our platform does more than one thing. I mean, we're talking about donation dollars, but we also want to build a base, right? Because of what our platform does, it's not all about the donations. Because our gamification side of it.
I'm going to stop you there because that's where we're going to go into our next segment, Jerry. So
okay.
You're one step. So I'm going to let us cut to commercial break. When we get back, Kim's going to tell us her crazy insurance story, which I've missed terribly over the last month or so, what have you. And then we're going to go into the actual platform, the different tenants and components of the platform, and kind of dive into each one separately. So,
Sure.
London, take it away.
Save to Support provides small businesses with a way to give back to any and all causes by providing consumers value in exchange for their donation dollars. When a consumer subscribes to donate on the Save to Support platform, 90% of the subscription is donated to their selected charity, and the consumer gets 20% off of all products and services in the network of participating businesses. To register as a nonprofit, supporting business, or to subscribe to donate to your favorite cause, go to savetosupport.org. That's save, the number 2, support.org. Support, shop, save.
My name's Kim Wallace, and I've been in insurance for over 12 years. I started out as a staff member in an agency helping service customers, and I absolutely loved it. Knowing that I could help people even on their worst day just to make it a little bit better was rewarding for me. We take a look at each individual family and we develop a plan that best suits their needs. Let our office give you the peace of mind to know that we've got you covered. You can call or text our office at 469-604-4484 for a free quote or a policy review. Or you can check us out on Facebook at Insure Frisco.
CrowdShare turns friends, colleagues, family, employees, customers, and anyone else who wants to see your brand grow into your fans. You never have to ask anyone if they'll share your posts again. When your content is ready, CrowdShare lets them know it's time to share. And then in less than 10 seconds, your fans can share your posts and move on with their day. It's really that simple. If you would like to learn what CrowdShare could do for your business, go to crowdshare.com/demo to get a tour of the platform. And then if you decide to move over, go ahead and use the code Jen Verma at checkout and get 30% off forever. That's JENVERMA. Who's in your crowd?
Hello, my name is Bibi Carrington, National Sales at ShiftPixie. Now, ShiftPixie's purpose is to bring efficiency to the part-time labor markets. Are you a business owner that is struggling to find people and keep people? Well, the good news is we've curated the largest population of available workers in the country, and they're ready to work for you. You can get access to a live, local, on-demand workforce, so you never have to worry about those shift gaps again. Our technology and our engagement will also help stop that toxic turnover that a lot of operators are facing. Let's jump on a call. Let us show you how we can get you out of the recruiting business for good. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.
Hey, we're back. Did you recognize any of the voices or any of the people in those commercials?
I recognized a few. Mostly Bibi's hair because I love it so much.
Okay. I know. She moved back to California. You know that?
Yeah. I did not.
So we got her on the podcast. I got all the commercial and stuff done. She's but before she moved, so we could get it done ahead of California. So didn't want to deal with all the time zone issues and what have you. Anyway, back to Influence the Cause. Oh wait, no, I need a crazy insurance story. Are you ready?
Oh, I've got one for you. This one is life insurance related, and it's funny and semi-inappropriate, but it's hilarious. So I had a gentleman who we had done a life insurance application, and with some life insurance, they require a medical exam. We send someone to your house, and they'll do blood and urine, and they make sure that you're healthy, all that good stuff. So the guy had set the appointment like 2 weeks prior, and I guess he forgot about it. So Monday morning, the examiner rings his bell, shows up at his house, and he goes, just 1 second. And he calls me from his bathroom, okay? He goes, Kim, I forgot about the medical examiner coming. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, she's here right now. He goes, is that a problem? He's like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. It was my buddy's bachelor party this weekend, and we went to Vegas. And I go, okay. And he's like, there may or may not have been some blow involved. And I was like, okay, tell her you're not feeling well, or that you had pancakes for breakfast because you can't eat something super sugary beforehand. He goes, and I'm laughing so hard, and he's whispering in the bathroom with this lady in his living room, and he's like, understanding, and I'm laughing so hard I can barely contain myself. It was a funny one. I'm just like, we'll just reschedule it for a few weeks.
That was good. That was a good one.
It was pretty good.
So when I got life insurance, back in my 30s, I was pregnant when they did the medical exam, like probably 6, 7, 8 months pregnant. Like I was pregnant. And they denied me. And I called up the insurance company and I'm like, why did you deny me for my life insurance? They were like, well, you showed whatever the chemical was that infers that you're an alcoholic. I'm like, that would be a pretty big problem because I'm 8 months pregnant. It's like, I go, does that chemical create when you're pregnant? Does it? Oh, they're like, oh yeah, you see it when people are pregnant too. I was like, yeah, there's that. I ended up getting approved. I was like, why don't you call the medical person that came to do all the blood work? I said, just call her and ask her if I was pregnant. They're like, yeah, we'll do that. That's a good idea. Yeah. I was pregnant. Okay, Jerry, back to you. All right. So There's a lot, like the platform is a lot. So I want to make sure we break it down into the three, because it's a three-legged stool, really.
Correct.
I want to kind of talk through each one independently. So, I mean, start with whichever one you want, but let's deep dive into the first one, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, the organization side obviously is the most important one, right? And what we provide inside the system in order to project to the community their cause and what they're doing. And so, you know, we want to make sure that the landing pages are in good order, sound order. You know, all the marketing that we do on the side, everything's tracked the way we do it, right? So we want to build their base as just as much as we want to fund their cause, right? So it's a twofold thing on the front end for the organizations. Go ahead.
So the organization calls you and they can start a campaign, which is a landing page, right?
Correct.
When they start a campaign, do you say, is it like just an ongoing, unlimited, we just keep marketing forever? Do you say, I want to raise $10,000? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, what we want to do is obviously do it in increments, right? And so what we're trying to do for each campaign is make sure that they're getting out there and then follow up with those subsequent campaigns showing where the money went, how the money's being spent to the supporters and what they're doing and thanking them in that aspect, right? So we want to make sure that each campaign builds up on each other. Do we want to run campaigns for a year? No. Can you? Yes. But our thing is to do it increments, 30, 60 days, somewhere around that range is always good to build a base. And especially if you have multiple sponsors, right? Because each sponsor, you'll see when we get into the sponsor side, the way our sponsorship connect is set up, it's we try and incorporate as much as we can to help people promote their product, to promote their cause, right? And so that's what we want to do inside each campaign. So the more the merrier, because each campaign can have separate sponsors.
So you speak of sponsors. Those are businesses.
Correct.
Typically are your sponsors. Okay.
Correct.
And so let's talk about that real quick and just the business side. Like what is it that they're doing? What's in it for them? And how are they engaging with the nonprofits?
Well, the sponsorship side of it is more of a marketing for the sponsor, right? Think of it as Arizona. I keep saying Arizona because I used to live there. Amazon Smile, but reversed, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas in the organization gets the donation and the sponsor gets the customer, right? So instead of the other way around. So that's what we do. So they're promoting their products and services inside each campaign.
So as a use case, like a business, if they want to be a sponsor on your platform, do they have to get invited by a nonprofit, or can they just go to Influence the Cause and say, hey, we want to sponsor nonprofits. We have some deals we'd like to put out there.
Either way, we do it both ways. Our Sponsor Connect is a platform where sponsors can sign up and get their own accounts and search for organizations in their community to sponsor, and vice versa. Organizations, once the sponsors are signed up, they can search for the specific sponsor that they want to do. Sponsors can also run campaigns for their own specific nonprofit organization as well.
Okay, so they don't have to. They can, if they have their own, or if they just want to give to one, they can run a campaign for them.
Correct.
So let's say I'm a business and I want to sponsor some things. What does a deal look like? Like, how does that? What am I giving? Like, is it a pizza place and, sign up and, buy this coupon?
Well, think of it as, everybody knows, think of it as in-kind donations, right? That's what we're promoting, in-kind donations. You're able to do coupons, 50% off, buy one, get one free, things like that for support, for just sharing a campaign. So again, we look at it and we go, okay, if a sponsor, go ahead.
Let's go back to I'm trying to understand from a business perspective.
Uh-huh.
What do I create on your platform? What does a deal or a coupon look like? So I say, what does it look like? Is it
anything that they would want to do? If they're promoting their products and services this month, a new product wants to come out, let's say, they can promote that inside there in the form of in-kind donations, right? So if a supporter shares, they get a coupon. If the supporter donates, they can get a gift card that says, spend $100, get $20 off. Things like that. So think of it as Groupon inside of a fundraising campaign.
So I, as like a pizza place, because I don't know if everyone knows what in-kind donation means. So if I, as a pizza place, say, hey, purchase this coupon for a $10 pizza, the $10 minus fees and whatever goes back to the cause. And then the person who purchases the $10 coupon takes it to the pizza place, just like a Groupon, and says, I'd like my $10 pizza. Is that right?
Correct. And we have a whole point of sale system that processes the whole thing from inception to redemption.
Okay, perfect.
Inside, again, think of it as Groupon built inside. And instead of purchasing the gift card or the coupon, you're giving that donation to the organization.
Perfect. I love it. And then the business gets the new client and can, they patronize them a different way.
The business is sharing the database, correct. And that's one of the things that we do. So
they get the data as well of the customer.
Correct. Correct. All the supporters inside the campaign, they'll get access to that inside their dashboard. Yes.
It is the new gold. That's fantastic. I love it. It's new oil, rather. Sorry, wrong metaphor.
Right.
Okay, so that's great. Charities can start up a campaign. Businesses can sponsor them. You say sponsor connect. So if someone chooses, like if a charity chooses to connect with a business or a business with a charity, does it automatically happen or do they have to approve it?
They go through the system, they pick a charity or they pick a sponsor. Inside there, it says, do you want to connect with this sponsor? You click on the button, the notification gets sent to the business sponsor, and the business sponsor either says yes or no.
Okay.
And vice versa.
It has to be double opt-in. Everybody has to agree.
Correct.
So like,
it's a double opt-in, right?
Marlboro can't be like, hey, we want to give to the American Cancer Society without the American Cancer Society approving it because they probably don't want to be part of that. Right.
Correct. And no campaigns can be started on our site. So you can't come in and have a campaign run today. Our site doesn't allow that. You have to go through an approval process, which basically we just check your EIN number, make sure it's active. If you're a school or a church or, not a 501c3, that's okay as long as your EIN number is active and we approve you. So it takes about 24 hours or sometimes less than that.
I love that there's that vetting involved. Okay, so now to the most important part of the whole thing. How do you promote these deals and these coupons so that people actually are aware they're out there and that they will purchase them?
Well, the mindset that we have in there is obviously the sponsor is going to promote it to their base, right? If they're promoting a new product or service or buy one, get one free or whatever it may be, they're promoting it to their base. That's one aspect. So we look at the organization and say, okay, we have the sponsor database we can hopefully connect to. We have the organization database that we connect to. And then we have our database that we can connect to, which is around 80,000 people, somewhere around there. So that we push it, we help promote it on a weekly basis as well.
How does playantropy play into it? Sorry.
Well, that's our promotion side of it, right? And so each organization now can have their own, if they wanted to promote their supporter of the year contest, things like that. So now they have the data to be able to say, okay, who are my volunteers, right? Think of it as an electronic volunteer system, right? Where you're tracking all your volunteers, how much money they're generating, how many people they're bringing in, right? And we track all that. So each person is basically an advocate, can create their own advocacy. And then what we do during the campaign is we promote the leaderboard, right? So the Playantropy leaderboard is who's the top supporter, who's the top money man, who's the top sharer. So each week we promote the leaderboard and show the community, everybody out there, where it's at.
Okay, we only have 45 seconds, so I'm going to get to the one point. So is it true that if people reshare some of these promotions, like grab and share it on social, they're incentivized, they get basically loyalty or rewards or somehow toward products and services on your platform?
Right. Well, I mean, based off of that, plus that's where the leaderboard comes in, right? And so at the end of the year, we want to promote the philanthropist of the year. Who's our top advocate inside the system, and then promote it that way and be able to acknowledge them across many social media platforms.
Sure. All right. Well, we got to end, Jerry. I know that we had so much to talk about. I think we've covered like 99% of it. I appreciate you being here. Kim, thank you as always for being here. If you want to learn more about Influence the Cause, go to www.influencethecause. Jerry's there. He'll help you out whether you're a nonprofit or a business. I am Jen Verma. This is The Best Kept Secrets. If you know, you know.